Right gamers, it's time for Pie Day Friday, and today we are going to be making some seafood pies because I've been loving a wee bit of surimi lately, always buying the surimi salads and stuff like that, so I thought why not put it in a pie, see how we go. So I think for a start what we'll do is we'll get these pie casings all filled up with the savory pastry or savory shortcut. We'll get them filled with the savory short crust pastry and get those blind baking, and then we'll get into making the filling while those are going. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the same as last time and just sort of push the pastry into the pie trays and then just cut around the edges. So that's our first one done. I'll come back to you once we've got all the other 7 done. Right, so I've had a quick lesson from my mum on how to do the parchment paper the best for putting the rice in for the blind baking. We'll just cut off a sheet that's like a wee bit bigger than the pie itself, folding it in half, and then we're safely, which I'm not really doing that safely, using the knife to cut that in half. And we'll grab our pastry and sort of just squeeze it in there and fill it up with some rice. Right, so we've got these all filled up with their rice and parchment paper to blind bake these. Got the oven at 180 degrees and they should take about 15-ish minutes just to get a nice bake on the bottom crust. So now we'll make a wee start on the filling. And the first thing we'll do is we'll chop up this spring onion. The recipe didn't really say how much green onion to add, it just said green onions. So because I have 3 left from the bunch from the stuff I used in the Korean barbecue sausage roll. If you haven't seen that video, make sure after this one you go and check that out. Right, and now it is time to start getting our pan hot. Bit of olive oil. Let's get it, baby. So I forgot to record the start of cooking this up, but basically I just added a little bit of olive oil, about 2 tablespoons of butter, and a wee bit of minced garlic as well. I just eyeballed, I think. So yeah, now you can continue on. We want to add 2 tablespoons of flour. I think we're looking pretty good there. Now it says what we want to do is add in our spring onion. So we'll add that in there. And I'm thinking basically we just want to coat the veggies. And next thing we want to add is half a cup of heavy cream, which in New Zealand, it's just fucking cream, mate. What's so heavy about it? And just sort of let that bubble up for a minute here. Right, so that really thickened up quite quick. So I think what we can do now is we can start adding in our chicken stock, which it says 3/4 of a cup, but also at the same time I don't want to get it too thin. So I think I might start with half a cup, and then if I think we need it, we'll add the rest later on. Now the one thing I'm not loving about the look of this at the moment is it looks fucking lumpy. So I think I might actually add that extra 1/4 of a cup. It smells good so far, to be fair. And for me, it's looking to be at a pretty nice consistency. It's got a wee bit of give, but like, you know, as you scrape it, you can see it takes a wee bit for it to sort of fill back in those gaps, which is what we want. So I think what we'll do now is we'll start adding in our spices that we're going to be adding into this, which is a teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, about a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and this is probably optional. If you like a bit of kick, you might add it in here, but I've got a 1/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and we will mix that in. We'll lower down that temperature to a medium heat, and we'll add in our prawns, and we'll give that another mix. And then what we'll do is we'll cover that. If I can find the lid. Is it this? It's not that one. It's the bigger one. And then we'll cover it with the lid and let it simmer. So I think the last ingredient we need to add is our surimi. It'll just be nice to get it all in with the gravy. And that right there, that's the filling. So now it is time to make our puff pastry tops. So yet again, same as last time, got our tray and we can just go around it. Boom, pie top. Next thing on the agenda is to get these pies filled up, dude. Grab ourselves a wee serving spoon. Chuck our wee pie casing on top. Oh, and we'll need an egg, won't we? Hello, Mr. Egg. We're gonna beat you up. Got our wee brush. The oven's still at 180. From the last video when we did the sausage roll, apparently the way to get a nice golden top is that we're gonna do an egg wash part way through. So we're gonna chuck it in there for about 15 minutes and then do a secondary egg wash to try and, you know, add some additional color if we can. I knew there wasn't going to be enough filling, so we've only got 5 pies, but, you know, that'll have to do the trick, I think. Well, I'd definitely say the halfway through method of putting the eggs on top has definitely got them looking golden. Look at that. So the pie's all sorted. Let's give it a wee taster and see how we're doing. That's got a good wee kick to it. Nice and creamy too with the gravy. The surimi sort of adds a bit of a interesting texture in there. I'm not sure I love it, but I'd say that would be like a solid 7. Thanks for watching. Make sure to go check out the sausage roll video I posted last week.